Hi guys, it's Amanda, Creative Gardener. So, before the end of the month is out, I wanted to do a garden tour for November. And I know you're going to see this on the 2nd of December or whatever the date is that the Tuesday falls. But let's just take a quick look at how the garden is now, and then obviously at the end of December I'll give you a garden tour. So come on, let's go. Oh, it's a bit muddy. So I've got an addition to my garden, which is my garden chair. It was a three-legged chair that we found when we got here, and I've been tempted to not tempted, trying to find ways in which to fix it. And so in the end what I've done is I got a branch and just rammed it up there, so it suits me for now. And it's nice to kind of, at the end of the work that I've been doing in the mornings, to come and sit here before I get on with some work. So we'll start should we start here? I don't know. We'll start here. It's very wet, it rains, so this is my makeshift garden fence, which you would have seen it, and yeah, I just put it round. Initially it was to stop Cole from getting out, and now he can jump over, so it's just really just to feel, I don't know, just a bit of enclosure, because yeah, it just does feel, and I've allowed, it does feel what does it feel anyway, secure, although it's not. But anyway, it's just that perception or the feeling. Anyway, so I've allowed this to grow so that so it just looks a bit more natural. Eventually I'm going to be taking them down, because I've planted some more of, I keep calling it's like a Mexican, no, it's like orange blossom, and it's these, and they're used as hedging. So at the end of our road we have at least 10 trees down there that have got seeds now coming out. It produces an orange berry, and so I just took some of them because they grow really quickly. They grow fairly, easily, and again, it's a cheap way to it doesn't belong to anybody, so I'm not taking it from somebody's garden. It's just literally on the side of the road, a little gap that comes up to our house, and so what I'm going to do is replace all of these and put the plants in there so they can grow and form a hedge. I prefer the natural feel, and here's one of the paths that I've created. So it comes out here. What I did was, I've got some, can you hear that dog there? That's Cole with the next door neighbour's dog. Anyway, so I've got to put some more wood chips down here. This bit, again, it's a low part of the garden, so when it rains it gets very sloshy. And here's my makeshift bridge too far, and on either side plants are growing. Everything's growing really well because of the rain. We're in rainy season, so they're just loving it, and I'm allowing a lot of the plants to grow to a particular height. There is going to be a cap off point for some of them, like next door neighbour. Okay, let's see if we can get around this. So yeah, so look what we got. Look what's growing. Look how it's growing. It's everything, as I said, it's growing really really well, and I do have to cut back because you're going to lose a lot of the airspace. I mean, look at this moringa tree. Now I can't get up to the top to utilize the trees, utilize the leaves, but so I've allowed this one to grow tall, because there's birds that want to build their nests, and we have these carpenter bees. They're really big bees, and it's just like, okay, you guys can deal with the top. And I've also created like some shading. Well, I haven't created, as I said, I've allowed the plants to grow so that it can create a bit of shade for some of the plants here. Not that these plants, a lot of these plants need the shade, so I'm going to have to do a bit of cutting back to allow some more light in. I've made use of the tires. I think I shared in a video some of the tires and what's growing in there, and we've got papaya growing. I've got papaya growing on both sides actually, and I hate throwing seeds away, so it's just like, okay, what else, where can we put this? So these are there's something wrong with this, I'm gonna have to come around and spray it. So this is a natural waterway, so when it rains, all the water from my two neighbours up the top there comes gushing down here, and there it does fill with water, so we just have to kind of keep it as clear as possible. But I'm growing, I want to grow a hedge alongside, so I've put, so the same orange blossomy type tree I'm growing along here. I'll put it along here, and hopefully the rest of them will follow this one's lead. And it just really has to be, this is the optimum height. It doesn't need to be any higher than this, but it needs to bush out, so I'm just going to allow it to do that. I've got some Pride of Barbados here, and I think this is some sort of nettle. I'm not going to touch it because I did that before and it really does sting. I haven't been stung by stinging nettles since I was a kid. Anyway, so my bougainvillea is doing well here. I've taken cuttings from it and put it in other parts of the garden. And these pipes, I was hoping to build like a mini kind of outdoor greenhouse. I'm not sure, we'll see. But they were what were holding up this part of the fence, so I've opened this up so that when I've shut that front way, Cole can still, he runs in to the garden this way. So my composting bin, the wooden legs broke, so I'm going to have to try and fix that. So there's loads of little jobs around the garden that need to be done, but there's only one pair of hands, so I can only do it when I can get to it. But still trying to create lots of nice kind of areas that, I guess it's going back to when I was a kid, you know, like everything seemed really large, so I guess a park with loads of trees seemed like a forest. But I did go to Epping Forest, and that was lovely. I had a great time. So this is the Clamour cherry tree, and as I say, it's growing, its branches grow really tall, and it seems to have provided a home for the spiders up there, and I hope that they're eating as many flies as possible. But it grows really quickly. It does produce a cherry that is edible, can be made into jams. Some people use it as a glue because it's got a very gluey type feel to it. And we've got the Mexican sunflower growing up here as well, and lots of seed heads. I'll probably remove those because I don't want any more kind of growing here. And we've got lots of broadleaf thyme and black sage with a problem with the leaf hoppers. But this is like a daily, I have to come around daily and spray it. Well, not daily, like every 2-3 days. If you leave it, which I have done, I sprayed it like about 4 days ago with some soapy water and oil, cedarwood oil actually, and they've come back. And I think it's because I didn't get the underside of the leaves, because they not only lay these eggs on the stems, but also underside the leaves of the top leaves. I've got loads of different varieties of spider. I'm not even sure whether you can see that one, but they're long-legged and they've got a silver back, and they produce a web that's like a cross. Okay, things like one of my cotton trees is growing really tall, but I need to cut this back because it's got problems. So okay, so moving swiftly along, I think it's going to rain, so we'll just we won't spend too long out here, but I'll give you an overview, and I will kind of, you know, give you more details of some of the plants individually. So we've got our papayas growing here. I've probably got about 20 trees growing at different stages, some really tall, and here's this little fella here looking for some birds to chase, and some smaller ones here. This one I think is a male one, but it's in flower. I've not seen fruit come from it, but I'm hoping. The last one I had didn't last very long, but this one's doing quite well. I'm quite pleased, and it's got a really pretty smell. Can you see the rain clouds over there? So as we delve deeper into the forest, there is an abundance of spiders here, and loving it. So I usually walk around with a stick to kind of move them out of the way. Mangoes. I've got 6 mango trees growing, and again different sizes. So this is probably the biggest. I've got one there, and it's probably going to be another year before they fruit. And my beds are coming up. As I say, I've got, you know, papaya, I've got star fruit and some cassava here. This is an unknown plant. I'm not sure. I think the birds volunteered it and brought it over here. It sometimes gets attacked by the, well, it has been attacked by the hornworm. It's a little ladybird doing its job here. Yeah, the hornworm, green one. It's just like, where do they come from originally? Anyway, so it's mixed up in the moringa tree as well, and I'm just waiting to see if it fruits. So round here I've got more mangoes, and yeah, just lots of different plants. I'm trying to make the most of the beds, and just to create a natural kind of forest, food forest, you know, not kind of doing too much in the sense of, I want to keep it at a certain height so it's manageable, and give a lot of the all the plants sort of like room to grow. My moringa, these are nice to eat. You boil them and they go soft. The skin is not edible, but it's got seeds inside which are a nice consistency. So another mango there, and a neem tree growing there. That again, I must have put a lot of neem seeds when I was getting rid of the branches, so one started to grow there, and I've just left it there because I've tried to move them before and they've not really liked it. So I'm going to leave that. I've got 2 growing that are kind of full size, so I'm quite happy with those. This is one of them, tangled up in the cassava. So I've got cassava growing there, and that's going to be moving once it's ready to be harvested. But my neem tree is growing quite well. I'm using it for the leaves. They're antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral, and it's used in a lot of pesticides. So I'm going to make my own natural pesticides from the leaves and the seeds. If you grind them up, you get an oil from them. I'm trying to get an oil press, but I haven't yet managed to get it. For the moringa seeds and the neem seeds. Look at this, look at my scaevola. This is normally kept kind of this height, but what's happened is I've just not cut it back. I did cut it back, and you might be able to see inside where the branches, I'd cut it back to there, and look how much growth we've had, and it looks like it's growing. Oops, it wants to grow like a tree. And you know what, I might just leave it and see how it gets on, and just cut back some of the, you know, when I need to plant some more. This really does take really easily, and so yeah, I might just take some cuttings and put the rest of them around, but allow it to grow and see how tall it wants to be. I guess it'll grow as tall as you allow them, really. So some newcomers to the garden, that's henna. I've got some curry leaf plant, my sugar cane, so they're growing really well. I'm pleased with that. I have to get a move on because it is definitely going to rain or pour with rain. I don't think I've got very long. Anyway, so more paths that I'm creating. The grass is probably in need of cutting, and so what the guy does is he just comes round and sorts this out for me, and at the main part of the garden. And yeah, in some places we've got some surprises growing. So here we've got some a pomegranate seed. I already planted about 10 here, and we've got these ones that have come up, and so they will be bearing fruit maybe say January, who knows. I did see a flower on one, but it didn't last. My coconut tree, a papaya tree there. My bananas are coming on, but I want to thin them out a bit. And I've got here I've got 2 shak trees. They provide a lot of shading, but with it you can see all the seeds in the pods filled with seeds. I'm still trying to find out what use they can be, whether it's a medicinal purpose or whether these pods are edible at a particular point. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's a massive tree. The wood is useful as well, can be used in you know, creating furniture and things like that. And yeah, so as you can see from the last tour I did, which I think was August, things have come on. The cassava apparently over here, let's go over here, it flowers. I didn't realise it flowered because the last time I harvested, I just, you know, when it got to about this height, I thought, okay, let me pull them up. But apparently when it's ready to be harvested, they flower. So I'm interested in seeing how that goes. And here I shared some natural kind of archways that the plants are kind of creating for me. So I'm just encouraging them. And through here, you see over there, you see my understory nursery, which it needs a lot of tidying up at the moment, but we've got 5 planting trees. Well, they're not really trees, 5 planting growing, and look, you can see some already. The flower is dying, and the flower's edible. With the banana it's edible, so I'm sure it's edible, but you know, obviously not the way it looks now. And if I had studied it, I would have given it more water, because these little tiny things up there, they would have been planting, and so maybe it needed a bit more water. So I'm really looking forward to tasting those. But I've got some baby ones coming up here, some small ones, so thinking about moving them. This is an ideal spot because when it does rain, the water just gushes down here. And look, I like that look as well. Again, just needing to tidy up with the branches and things like that, but it's coming on and it's a work in progress. And it's, you know, it's just, I just love being out here. I love looking after the garden, looking after the plants, growing, seeing what's growing. I'm, you know, stepping out of my comfort zone, because you know, in England you just have like you have a lawn, and I had flowers. I think the only fruit I had was plums. We had a plum tree that was there when we got there, but you know, I didn't have all of this different variety of food. So we've been up here. I was going to go down this path, but the spiders usually like to let me go round. The spiders usually like, oh, there's one there. They don't get the memo. Let's see. So here I was trying to create another path. It was a lot. Oh gosh. It's just like you walk into the web and it thinks you're a delicious meal, but I'm not. See, so this was higher, so I tried to cut into it so that again it could be a nice path to walk down. And with the, I was coming to see what was wrong. So why are you screaming? The moringa patch, you know, just trying to direct the water in there. But yeah, just creating a nice little, just trying to make sure I haven't got a spider on me. Nice little path. Look at my noni tree. Look at the fruit on that. So these can be eaten and fermented, and I haven't yet made use of them. There's a couple in there that are ready to be picked. When they go kind of the skin kind of goes translucent, they're ready, but they do smell. I've seen a guy on YouTube eat it when it's like this. The flavor is not so much, you know, so as strong when it's green, but I'm still kind of building up my what's the word, it's the confidence to try it. So I'm going to look up some recipes and see what I can do with it. But you can ferment it. It's really good for your immune system. And I will attest to the leaves. What I do is I just cut a leaf and I steep it in water with some other leaves. That's my bush tea blend, noni bush tea blend. And it's amazing. It really is. It makes you feel, actually, is one going off in there? Oh, so I might even try and grow this, you know, but it does make you feel good. And when I drink it, it's like an immediate effect. So there's a little outdoor sculpture I made from the branches of the moringa tree and woodburned. And so this is the kind of rest of the garden. It really does need a lot of needs cutting, basically. And here's another little path that I've got leading to my composting bins I've got down here. So I've got 2 composting bins. Ooh, pretty. Ooh, so you get to see, so that was a dragonfly, and then we've got this, I don't know whether, let me zoom in a bit. See the butterfly there? It's a little treat there. Oops, sorry to come out so fast. I'm trying to slow it down a bit. Okay, so papaya trees growing. These are the dwarf ones. I did share about my dwarf papaya trees. These are my current composting bins, and I need to put another layer on because I can see some flies there, which shouldn't be. The other thing that's good for this is I use shredded paper as well. This is my just leaves, so leaves from the mahogany tree. Let's go around here. Again, all the Mexican sunflowers, so you can see them there in bloom, but they go all around the back. I planted every single one of them, so each one was a stick. And yeah, how many years later, it stops here. There was just a mound of, it was just like rocks and lime. The broadleaf thyme loves it, and the Mexican sunflower goes all the way around the front, and you would have seen some images of it, you know, as it's growing. It's doing a lot better. It's bushing out, so I'll just keep cutting it. And what I'm also doing, so again, yeah, as you can see, it needs cutting, and the fountain grass, which are the grassy type things, they're growing, and that, you see those 4 fountain grass bushes grew from one. I got one kind of strand of one cutting, basically. So with the Mexican sunflower, because along the front, because it can be quite spindly, and then when as it grows taller it gets kind of leggy and you can see through it. So what I'm doing is putting some additional plants in front. So I've got the Scaevola here, which will branch out, and just some others. I mean, this is a tree that will get taller, my seagrass. So this is the idea. As the Scaevola grows, it's going to form like a little hedge in front, pretty much like what I've done along here. So again, these were just individual plants planted, and as it's grown it's kind of spread out and created, like, I'm trying to create just separate little areas that, I know you can feel cool in. So I've got several of these trees, I can't remember the name of them. They grow really quickly. I had thought they were scented, but it turns out they're not. Or maybe the one, I've got no idea. Maybe when I saw the seed pods, there was a tree where we used to live, and there were the seed pods, and I thought, oh my gosh, it smelled beautiful. So the seed pods come out of here, and they grow to about, just trying to see if I can see any, they grow to a few inches long. Let's go down here. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up soon. But yeah, what I want in the garden is scent. So the frangipani tree here, I have to cut it back a bit, but that's going to grow. Scented flowers. I think this one is scented as well. This normally grows by the beach. It's called the Indian, what is it? The Indian, I can't remember. It's the name of a flower, not the Indian lily or something like that, but it has little pods where flowers come out. Really pretty pink flowers. This isn't flowering at the moment. Oh right, okay, so this is what I'm going to show you from this one. So it grows, see, this is one of the seeds. Yeah, it grows really quickly, but it has the pods, and they're full of seeds. So this particular one, again, I don't want it to grow too big. It's not in front of any of the wires, but I just want to kind of maintain it to a certain height and let it bush out. And again, yeah, the same with most of the plants, just kind of provide a natural hedge, and in time Cole won't be able to get out, because again, you know, it's costs. So this is what the fountain grass, let me show you properly. So this bit here, that's what you would plant, and I just normally cut them back, cut the tips off, and that's what I had, and I've now grown all of these plants. Okay, let's now go back. So the front area, the front of the garden, I've put a few trees. This is a Jamaican ackee tree, and I've got guinnep, or it's known as Bajan ackee. It's two totally different plants. We've got tamarind here. So I've got two tamarins that are growing pretty well, and I'll probably do a separate video on those. But yeah, as I say, the main thing is that everything is kind of finding its place, and the feel that I'm trying to get out of the front is to have, like, you know, an enclosed area that, because people walk past here to get to the highway, and there's a place of work over there. So to have a fenced off, but obviously natural fenced off garden that Cole won't be able to get through. At the moment he can, obviously, with all the gaps, but where I've kind of added, you can see at the bottom here, as I've cut back, I've layered and created now an area that he would have to force himself through, and it'll be more unlikely. And if there's plants kind of there as well, you know, it's an inexpensive way. It takes time, but it's an inexpensive way to provide, you know, security, or, you know, that he's not going to get out and jump over, or, you know, run off down with the other wayward dogs that are around. That's a pomegranate there. So, as I say, providing lots of space for food growth. This is my cotton plant, and it's growing tall again. I had my son cut it right back, but I need to come back and cut it right back. I've got one there I've got to show you. Can you see it? It's just here. So that's actually flowering, so I'm going to leave that and collect the cotton from that particular plant. But this one, again, it's flowering. You see a little flower there? How pretty they are. So it's it's beginning to grow. What I might do is allow these to grow. I'll see how tall they get, and collect the cotton, and then we come back. So where we are, another area that I'm trying to, along here, grow plants, but just Mexican just the broadleaf thyme at the moment, Mexican sunflower, got some papaya there growing. This is a dwarf one, and look at the red Mexican sunflower. Doesn't it look pretty? And the contrast is beautiful. So again, yes, colour, fruit, scent are the things, and medicinal purposes is what I'm trying to get. And it's just been a joy being in the garden. It's hard work, but it's my second favourite place. Well, it's on a par to my art studio, but out here you have so many other, you know, things that stimulate you. You know, when it's not so wet, walking barefoot on the ground, sitting out here and just listening to the birds. It's been a real pleasure, and just watching everything just blossom and grow. I've still got to do something with these clay bits, but I'm gonna make my my clay pit. I have to, because I've got to use up the clay that I brought. It's becoming I don't know, I think because of all the dampness, it kind of, well, it's getting a bit mouldy. I don't know. I haven't really got much growing in here. I had these red seeded plants that I've moved out and put here. They use them for jewellery, but they're also edible once cooked, so like a pulse. And look at this. Look at the scaevola just growing. That's the gully, the gully where the water rushes down into the well. And you can come round the back now. Come, let's go. Through the gate, and we'll end the November tour back here, where a lot of the plants kind of start out in pots. If I brought a plant, I'll leave it back here because I've got quick access to it. But here, a lot of the leaves here are the mahogany tree, and that needs to be trimmed back a bit. So we've got our elephant's ears growing here, and lots of other plants. Neem I need to move at the back there. This is the clamacherry tree. Ooh, look, it's got a armyworm on it, so we need to get rid of that. We had a real big problem with them at one point. There were some massive ones, and they were all around here on the Mexican sunflower. So yeah, just cutting it back, and just kind of, you know, I've got to now take out some of these plants and either put them in the ground. So the ginger lily, I'm going to plant that there. It seems to like it there, so I'm going to take it out of the pot and put it there. I've got an almond tree there, baby, some papaya. I'm going to have to move that, and we've got one in a pot to move, and just some unknown plants that started to grow and I'm not sure what they are. I haven't yet identified them. And then some other little ones in pots that seem to have been overtaken by the Clitoria tenae. and I'm not sure what this plant is, but I'm hoping it's some sort of fruit. What have we got here? Another unknown plant that seems to be having some issues, but it looks like it might be a tree. It's got quite a nice bark growing on here. And then some more outdoor sculpture here that I've created. And look, a bird's nest just outside my studio. So I want to put another chair out here just so that you can come with your cup of tea in the mornings and just sit and feel cool. So I'm thinking maybe this area here, but this actually gets I might have to put decking here, some pallets, because it gets flooded in just this particular spot here. Yeah, but that's really it. That's the garden. That's the garden in November, coming towards the end of November, so you can see what it's like. My mahogany tree, I've been trying to cut it back a bit. It's suffering a bit, but I need to maybe cut it right back so that it can get a good start and treat. I don't know what this is along here, whether it's, I don't know what it is, and some kind of moss or lichen, I'm not sure, I don't know, I'm still learning, guys. But yeah, this is the Creative Gardener and my creative garden. And just as we finish, the rain's starting. So yeah, as I say, lots of little jobs to do. Be nice when I take this down and we have a natural hedge here. Here's a little kind of composting thing that was going on here. Oh, actually, I'm going to use that seat. Yeah, I'm going to use it. Anyway, and again, yeah, lots to tidy up. But all you can do, that's Cole's toy, which he's dashed over there. It's got this squeaky thing in there that he doesn't like. But you can only do what you can do. And I encourage you to get started if you haven't yet. Renew your energies if you are feeling tired. But it's such a therapeutic and a healing place to be. So, you know, find some time on a daily basis to spend it out in nature. So, take care for now. This is Amanda, tuning out.